The galaxy had never paid much attention to humans. For thousands of years, alien civilizations measured the stars, the planets, and every intelligent life they could find. They had seen thousands of species rise and fall, each one claiming power, only to crumble in time. Humans, small and fragile, had barely registered on their instruments. But curiosity has a strange way of spreading. A group of the galaxy's most powerful races, those who control the oldest knowledge, the strongest technology, and the deadliest fleets, decided it was finally time to measure humanity's strength. In a dark chamber aboard the Council of Stars, alien leaders argued. Tentacles flickered, claws tapped, and many eyes glare at one another. "They are weak," said Zarthak, a towering figure from the planet Voron Prime. "I have read their histories. Their wars are small, their weapons primitive. They do not deserve our attention." "Careful, Zarthak," hissed Liara, from the watery world of Oceanavie, her voice echoing like crashing waves. "Underestimating a species is the first mistake of many. They might surprise us. They always do, in ways we cannot predict." The room fell silent. Everyone knew Liara's warning was not to be ignored. Many species had underestimated others before, and each time, the outcome had been disastrous. Finally, the Council agreed to activate the measuring instruments, enormous devices built in deep space, far from human reach. These machines were designed to record every possible aspect of a civilization: physical strength, intelligence, strategy, and even adaptability. Once activated, the galaxy could see, in precise numbers, how humans measured against the universe's standards. On Earth, humans were busy with their lives, completely unaware that instruments millions of light years away were observing them. Soldiers trained, engineers built, children played, and governments debated policies. The ordinary rhythm of life continued, untouched by alien scrutiny. The instruments hummed to life. Massive energy waves spread across the galaxy, invisible to human eyes. Alien scientists watched eagerly as the first measurements appeared on their screens. At first, it confirmed what many expected. Humans were fragile. Their technology was crude compared to starships and energy weapons of the Council members. Their numbers were small, their influence limited. The instruments blinked, calculating precise scores. "See," Zarthak said triumphantly. "Nothing remarkable. Pathetic, really." But then, something strange happened. A small human research team, exploring the outer edges of the solar system, stumbled upon a natural energy storm. The storm was unpredictable and dangerous. The humans had only rudimentary sensors and old ships, yet they managed to navigate it flawlessly. They adapted, improvised, and survived. Back at the Council of Stars, the instruments registered this anomaly. Numbers and graphs began to fluctuate wildly. Readings of human resilience, adaptability, and unpredictability spiked beyond the limits of the instruments. Liara's eyes widened. This should not be possible. Zarthak leaned closer, claws tapping against the console. "It's a glitch," he said, though unease crept into his tone. "Humans cannot do this. It is not logical." But the data continued to surge. The instruments, designed to withstand even the strongest forces, began to strain under the unpredictable human actions. Alien scientists murmured nervously. Some even started to sweat through their exoskeletons or gills. The Council decided to observe humans more closely. Entire fleets were dispatched, invisible to Earth, to watch how humans would respond to various challenges. Natural disasters, wars among themselves, and resource scarcity. Every time, humans found new ways to overcome obstacles. When a massive asteroid threatened one city, engineers built a makeshift defense system using ordinary tools and explosives. When communications were jammed by solar flares, humans improvised with simple signals and codes. Each action caused the instruments to spike further, numbers reaching heights that the Council had never seen. Alien races whispered to each other, tension growing with each new measurement. "They are adapting," said Mirkesh, a scientist in the metallic world of Corlin 9. "They are not following patterns. Our algorithms cannot predict their behavior. They are unpredictable." "Unpredictable?" echoed Zarthak, his voice now less confident. I do not understand. How can a species so small, so primitive, be causing this much chaos in our measurements? Liara smiled faintly. This is why we do not judge by appearances. Zarthak. Strength is more than weapons or numbers. It is spirit. It is will. And humans have an abundance. The instruments began to shake. Lights flickered. Panels sparked. Alien engineers scrambled to stabilize them. But every attempt failed. Humans, completely unaware, continued their lives. One human scientist discovered a new way to generate energy efficiently. Another solved a problem that had baffled their entire planet. Back in the Council of Stars, panic began to rise. "Shut it down! Shut the instruments down!" cried Zarthak. But the systems did not respond. Human ingenuity was literally breaking the instruments designed to measure it. It was at this moment that the Council realized something shocking. Humanity could not be measured by conventional means. They were a variable no algorithm could calculate, a force no instrument could contain. Aliens began to argue. "We underestimated them," said Mirkesh. "We should have never activated the instruments. This is dangerous." "Dangerous," hissed Liara. "It is amazing. It is inspiring. This is what a true civilization looks like, not the predictable, calculated empires we have watched for eons." Zarthak slammed his claws on the table. "No, I do not accept it. Humans are weak. They must be weak." The Council fell into chaos. Scientists tried to repair the instruments, but every fix failed. Every measurement was distorted by humans' unpredictable actions. Every calculation crumbled in the face of human creativity, adaptability, and courage. On Earth, humans continue to live, completely unaware that their actions were shaking the galaxy. Wars, inventions, disasters in daily life, all combined to create an invisible force that even the galaxy's oldest civilizations could not comprehend. In the shadows of deep space, some alien leaders began to whisper a frightening thought. What if humans cannot be controlled? What if they cannot be predicted? The Council decided to continue observation, but with extreme caution. Humans could not be tested in normal ways anymore. They had passed beyond the boundaries of calculation. They had reached a turning point, an unexpected moment that even the galaxy's most advanced minds could not understand. Liara watched silently, her eyes reflecting the chaotic data. "The galaxy has measured them," she said softly, "and the instruments broke. Humanity has crossed a threshold we cannot undo." For the first time in history, the Council felt fear, not of war, not of power, but of the unknown. Humans, small and seemingly ordinary, had become an unpredictable force, a force that could no longer be contained, measured, or controlled. The chapter of observation had ended. The galaxy had its answer, though not in numbers or charts. Humans had proven, in their own simple and relentless way, that true strength was not something an instrument could calculate. It was something alive, unpredictable, and powerful in ways no alien could imagine. And so, the first part of this great story ended, leaving the galaxy with a single undeniable truth. Humans were not what anyone expected. The instruments had broken, but the legend of their potential had just begun. The galaxy had expected the instruments to give them answers, to finally prove that humans were small, weak, and simple. But the data had shattered every assumption. The instruments had broken, and the Council was left with nothing but confusion and fear. On Earth, humans carried on. They were unaware that millions of eyes were watching them, that alien ships, hidden in the shadows of space, monitored every action. They argued, laughed, worked, invented, and survived exactly as they always had. Yet, each small act, each decision, sent shockwaves across the galaxy. The aliens could not understand it. Every calculation they made, every simulation, failed to predict what humans would do next. The unpredictability of humanity became the galaxy's greatest puzzle. It started with a single event. A human spaceship, small and outdated, had been sent to explore the edge of a newly discovered asteroid belt. The Council expected the vessel to fail. Their instruments had already measured its capabilities, and it should have been crushed by the gravity storms, torn apart by collisions, or lost in navigation errors. Instead, the humans adapted. They used simple maneuvers, natural instincts, and a combination of reasoning and luck to survive the belt unscathed. What's more, they discovered a rare mineral within the asteroids, something the aliens themselves had overlooked. The humans extracted it using improvised tools, turning disaster into opportunity. Back at the Council of Stars, the alien observers could not believe their eyes. "It's impossible," hissed Sarthak, his voice trembling with disbelief. "Their actions defy logic. Our simulations are worthless." Liara watched silently, almost smiling. "This is why humans are dangerous to underestimate," she said. "They do not follow your rules. They create their own." The instruments, even the repaired ones, continued to malfunction. Numbers spiked wildly whenever humans made unexpected decisions. Alien engineers scrambled, recalibrated, and tried to contain the chaos, but each fix only led to new anomalies. Humans continued to surprise the galaxy in small ways. A small town on Earth faced a massive flood. Conventional methods could not stop it, but humans worked together, using simple sandbags, improvised dams, and coordinated teams. By the end of the day, not only was the town safe, but they had also created a new system to warn nearby villages. The alien screen showed the results, but the readings made no sense. Metrics for problem-solving, teamwork, resilience, and creativity shot higher than any known species. Even species thought to be the most advanced could not match this. Mirkesh, from Corlin 9, leaned back in disbelief. They are evolving in real time. Every decision they make, every problem they solve, changes the measurement itself. They are rewriting the rules of our instruments. Zarthak slammed his claws on the table. "This is an error. They cannot possibly be this strong. They cannot possibly." Liara interrupted. "They are not strong in the way you understand strength. Humans are unpredictable, flexible, creative, and you cannot control or measure that." The council was divided. Some argued to abandon observation entirely, fearing humans might grow too powerful. Others insisted they continue, needing to understand what they were witnessing. The humans themselves remained oblivious. A group of scientists discovered a method to clean polluted water in half the usual time. Farmers in another region used a new planting technique that doubled their crop yield. Children in one school invented a simple but highly effective energy device for their science project. Every action, no matter how small, caused chaos in the alien measurements. The Council's algorithms, which had predicted the rise and fall of countless civilizations, failed completely with humans. In space, alien fleets watched human colonies in attempts to provoke challenges. They caused artificial storms, created conflicts, and tested resources. Each time humans adapted, they found solutions no one predicted, turned disasters into advantage, and learned faster than any algorithm could process. The more the aliens interfered, the more humans thrived. It was as if unpredictability itself was humanity's secret weapon. "This is not just resilience," said Liara. "This is genius. But not the genius we measure with devices or formulas. It is something organic, alive. You cannot quantify it." Zarthak's frustration grew. They should have failed. They should have crumbled. Yet every time we push, they rise higher. Their numbers, their actions. It defies all calculation. It is infuriating. The humans' actions soon reached another level. In one city, a massive blackout threatened millions. Engineers worked tirelessly, improvising solutions using old equipment, simple wiring, and raw logic. Within hours, the city's lights returned more efficiently than before, and the engineers even discovered a new energy technique. Every spike, every anomaly, every unpredictable human action caused the alien instruments to overload. Sparks flew, panels blinked out, alarms rang. Alien scientists panicked. Liara remained calm. "Do you see now?" she asked. "You cannot measure them. You cannot predict them. They are free." Zarthak's eyes narrowed. "Free? They are dangerous, wild, uncontrolled. They could destroy everything. Or they could inspire it." Liara replied quietly. The council realized a terrifying truth. Humans were not just unpredictable. They were unstoppable in ways the galaxy could not yet understand. The instruments had failed. The algorithms were useless, and every calculation had been rendered meaningless. Aliens started to observe more subtle aspects of humanity. Culture, emotion, relationships. Every time, Humans turned even personal conflicts into learning experiences, strengthened communities through cooperation, and innovated solutions beyond alien comprehension. The Council began to fear not just humans' power, but their unpredictability. What could a species do if left completely unchecked? What could they achieve if challenged in ways no one had imagined? On Earth, life went on. Humans laughed, cried, fought, and loved. Yet, in every small action, they continued to shape the galaxy's perception. The instruments could no longer keep up. Alien observers could no longer categorize, predict, or understand them. And in the midst of this, humans showed another quality that no instrument could measure: courage. Faced with dangers, whether natural disasters, disease, or conflict, they stood firm. They improvised. They risked everything. They adapted faster than any calculation could keep track of. It became clear that humanity's strength was not just in their technology or numbers or even in raw power. It was in something deeper: their creativity, their resilience, their courage, and their relentless will to survive and thrive. The Council of the Galaxy watched in awe, fear, and confusion. What they thought was a simple species had become the most unpredictable force they had ever encountered. And every human action, no matter how small, sent shockwaves through space, breaking instruments, crashing algorithms, and challenging centuries of galactic knowledge. Liara whispered to herself, almost smiling, "The galaxy is finally beginning to understand. Humans, they cannot be measured, they cannot be predicted, and they will not be ignored." The part ended with a clear truth. Humans had surprised the galaxy, and they would continue to do so. Their story was only beginning, and the instruments of the galaxy had already admitted defeat. Humanity had proven, without even knowing it, that their strength lay not in numbers, but in the unpredictable, unstoppable power of their will and mind. The aliens now face a choice: continue to test humans and risk further chaos, or step back and try to understand a species that could not be contained. Either way, one thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again. The Council of Stars had thought they could measure humanity. They had believed that instruments, the most advanced creations in the galaxy, could capture every aspect of human strength. They were wrong. The instruments hummed and whined as they tried to keep up. Lights flickered. Panels sparkled with warnings. Alarms screamed. Alien engineers rushed from console to console, their appendages flying, their voices rising in panic. "They are breaking the instruments!" shouted Mirkesh from Corlin 9, his metallic frame shaking with stress. "We cannot predict their actions. Every solution, every adaptation, every small choice, they break our calculations." Zarthak slammed a claw on the table, sparks flying. "Impossible. This should not happen. We built these instruments to withstand cosmic storms, black holes, and supernova energy. How can a species like humans do this?" Liara, calm as always, observed the chaos. "It is not about brute force, Zarthak. Humans are flexible, creative, unpredictable. They are living variables we cannot contain or calculate. On Earth, humans went about their lives, entirely unaware of the chaos they caused across the galaxy. In one city, engineers fixed a collapsed bridge with nothing but rope, teamwork, and ingenuity. In another, a small research team solved a problem that had stumped the world's brightest minds for decades. Every action, every small act of intelligence, every creative solution caused the instruments to overload. The massive devices designed to record, measure, and control were now sparking, trembling, and cracking. The Council scrambled. Shut them down. Pull the readings. Abort the measurements. Zarthak roared. But every attempt to regain control failed. The instruments, as if alive, resisted. Every calculation crashed. Every system alarmed. Every panel displayed nonsensical readings. Mirkesh shouted. "It's as if they are aware. Every time we interfere, humans do something new, something we did not predict." Liara nodded, almost smiling. "They are not aware of our observation, Mirkesh. That is the beauty of it. Their actions are natural, instinctive. Yet, each one is perfectly unpredictable. In the instrument's data core, numbers danced, graphs twisted, and spikes reached levels no being had ever imagined. Readings of human adaptability, resilience, and ingenuity were off the charts. Alien scientists could only stare at the screens in horror. Zarthak turned to the council. We are witnessing an anomaly, a species that refuses to fit our calculations. We cannot measure them. We cannot control them. They break our tools. Liara's voice cut through the panic. And that is exactly why humans are extraordinary. Strength is not only about size, technology, or fleets. It is about courage, creativity, and the ability to rise when the odds are against you. Humans have it in abundance. The council debated, but no solution was found. Every plan failed. Every attempt to stabilize the instruments ended in further failure. Sparks flew, lights blinked, and a low hum of energy grew into a violent roar. Meanwhile, humans continued to surprise the galaxy. On a distant space station, engineers discovered a new energy source using simple materials. On Earth, a team of students solved a global problem with a simple experiment that no alien would have predicted. The instruments shook violently, unable to process these unpredictable actions. Panels exploded. Warnings blared. Engineers dug to shut them down manually, but each panel that was turned off triggered another anomaly elsewhere. Zarthak shouted, "Stop them! Contain them! Do anything!" But Liara shook her head. Contain them? You cannot contain what cannot be measured. You cannot stop creativity, courage, and unpredictability. Humans are beyond your control. The council watched in disbelief as the instruments began to fail completely. Massive panels flickered out. Energy arcs shot across the room. The entire data core overloaded. The most advanced devices in the galaxy were no match for human unpredictability. Mirkesh whispered, "We underestimated them. Entirely. We thought we knew strength, but we did not know this essence of being human." Outside, hidden in the shadows of space, alien fleets observed humans continue their daily lives. They did not know they were being watched. They did not know that every invention, every clever solution, every small act of courage was shaking the galaxy to its core. And yet, humans remained humble, unaware of the chaos they caused. They were simply living, adapting, surviving. Their actions were small, personal, and ordinary. Yet, each one defied measurement, prediction, and expectation. Zarthak turned to Liara, his voice trembling. "We cannot measure them. We cannot predict them. What we do now..." Liara's eyes glimmered. "We watch, and we learn. Humans are not just strong. They are unpredictable. Their strength is in their spirit, their will, and their courage. They cannot be contained, but they can inspire. They can change the galaxy in ways we cannot imagine." The instruments gave one final, violent shudder and went dark. Sparks flew. Alarms rang one last time before silence fell over the council chamber. It was over. The measurement had failed. The instruments, designed to capture the essence of species, had broken under the sheer unpredictability of humans. The galaxy had its answer, not in numbers, not in charts, not in formulas, but in reality. Humans could not be measured. Humans could not be predicted. Humans were unstoppable in ways no one could calculate. The council was silent, each member reflecting on the enormity of what had occurred. Some were terrified. Some were in awe. All were changed forever. Liara finally spoke, her voice calm and steady. "The galaxy has learned a lesson today. Strength is not just about technology, numbers, or power. It is about creativity, courage, adaptability, and will. Humanity has shown us this truth, and the instruments they broke, because humanity cannot be contained." Zarthak's claws shook as he spoke. "We underestimated them. We thought they were weak. We thought they were insignificant. We were wrong." The council would never forget this moment. The galaxy had tried to measure humanity, and humanity had broken the instruments. In doing so, humans had proven that their true power was something no machine, no algorithm, and no alien could ever calculate. And on Earth, humans continued their lives, blissfully unaware of the chaos they had caused. Each invention, each act of bravery, each clever solution sent shockwaves through the galaxy. The instruments had failed, but the story of humanity's strength was only beginning. The first lesson was clear. Humans could not be measured. The second was frightening. Humans could not be predicted. And the third, most important lesson of all, was undeniable. Humanity's strength was alive, unpredictable, and unstoppable. The galaxy would have to adapt, learn, and perhaps even fear a species it had never truly understood. Humans had crossed a threshold. The instruments were broken, and the universe would never be the same again. The galaxy had tried to measure humans. It had failed spectacularly. The instruments were broken, the calculations meaningless, and the council in chaos. But the story was far from over. What no alien had understood yet was the core of humanity's true strength. On Earth, humans continued their ordinary lives. Children laughed in playgrounds, workers built and repaired, scientists experimented, and ordinary people faced challenges with determination. They were unaware that the galaxy watched every act, every decision, every small spark of ingenuity. Yet, their actions were changing perception of the entire universe. In the Council of Stars, alien leaders argued and debated. Fear, awe, and confusion filled the chamber. "They are unstoppable," Mirkesh whispered, barely audible. "Every time we try to provoke them, to test them, they rise higher. They are not just unpredictable, they are invincible in spirit." Zarthak slammed his claws on the table. "No, this cannot be. They are small, fragile. They cannot possibly be this strong. There must be an explanation, a trick, a hidden weapon, something we have missed." Liara's calm eyes scanned the council. "You are missing the point. Strength is not in weapons, fleets, or numbers. Human strength is in their courage, creativity, and will. They adapt. They improvise. They rise against impossible odds. And that is something you cannot measure or control." The aliens continued to watch, their fleets hidden in the shadows of the solar system. They observed humans facing natural disasters, conflicts, and unknown threats. Every time, humans improvised solutions no machine or algorithm could predict. Every small act, repairing a bridge, curing a disease, finding a way to communicate when all signals failed, demonstrated ingenuity beyond imagination. The instruments had failed to capture it. The algorithms could not calculate it. Humans' unpredictability had become their ultimate strength. In one city, a massive storm threatened millions. Floodwaters rose, buildings collapsed, and power lines sparked. Engineers, students, volunteers, and ordinary citizens worked together. They used simple materials, common tools, and clever thinking to save lives. By the end of the day, not only was the city safe, but the citizens had created systems to prevent future disasters. The alien observers were stunned. "How?" Zarthak demanded. "How do they do this? They should be overwhelmed. They should be powerless." Liara smiled faintly. "They do not rely on what you consider power. They rely on will, on courage, on cooperation. That is why you cannot predict them. That is why your instruments broke." Across the galaxy, the Council began to reconsider their assumptions. Species that had once prided themselves on technology, strategy, and strength now watched humans with a mix of awe and fear. Humans had revealed a kind of strength the galaxy had never seen. Organic, unpredictable, unstoppable. Even in war, humans displayed this quality. On a distant outpost threatened by cosmic storms and hostile environments, a small human settlement survived against impossible odds. They adapted, they learned, and they fought back using not superior technology, but sheer creativity and courage. Each victory, each solution, each act of bravery defied alien predictions. Mirkesh turned to the Council. They are not just a species. They are a phenomenon. Every action they take, every solution they invent, changes the rules. They are beyond our instruments, our measurements, and our predictions. They are alive in a way no calculation can capture. Zarthak clenched his claws, frustration and disbelief in every gesture. This cannot be. They are still small. Their ships are crude, their weapons primitive. How can such ordinary beings cause this much chaos in the galaxy? Liara's eyes glimmered. Because they are not ordinary. Humans are extraordinary in ways you cannot measure. They have spirit, will, courage, and adaptability. Their strength is in the mind and the heart, and in the way they rise when nothing supports them. Meanwhile, humans continue to grow, thrive, and innovate. A team of scientists discovered a method to generate clean energy from a rare mineral. Farmers adapted to climate changes using simple but clever techniques. Communities rebuilt after disasters with determination and teamwork. Children invented devices that solved problems even alien observers had failed to anticipate. Every act reinforced the truth. Humans could not be contained, predicted, or measured. Their power was not in technology alone, but in their will, creativity, and unbreakable spirit. The council began to fear and respect humanity in equal measure. We underestimated them, Mirkesh admitted. Completely. We thought we understood what strength meant. We were wrong. Humans have redefined it. Even Zarthak had to admit it, though reluctantly. They are different, unpredictable, dangerous, and perhaps remarkable. The aliens realized that humanity's strength was not a weapon to be feared alone. It was an essence, a force, a principle that could reshape the galaxy. Humans had passed the threshold of measurement, defied prediction, and proven that true power lies not in numbers, ships, or algorithms, but in the spirit. On Earth, humans remained blissfully unaware of the chaos they had caused. They laughed, they cried, they fought, they loved, and in doing so, they demonstrated the ultimate truth. Strength is not always obvious. Sometimes it is subtle, invisible, and unpredictable. Sometimes it is human. The Council of the Galaxy finally understood. They had tried to measure humanity. They had failed. They had watched humans unknowingly break the instruments and defy predictions. And they realized that humans' true strength was something that could never be contained, measured, or calculated. Liara whispered, almost to herself, "The galaxy has learned its lesson. Humans cannot be measured. Humans cannot be predicted. And their story has only just begun." Zarthak stared at the screens, his claws shaking. We underestimated them. Entirely. We thought we knew strength, power, and strategy. But humans, they are different. We cannot control them. We cannot measure them. And perhaps we should not try. The council fell silent. The galaxy had witnessed something unprecedented. Humanity had revealed the truth of strength. It was not in machines or weapons, not in numbers or fleets, but in courage, creativity, will, and the ability to rise when nothing supports you. Humans had proven, without even knowing it, that strength was not something that could be calculated. It was something alive, something unpredictable, something unstoppable. And so, the story of humanity continued, larger and more powerful than any alien could have imagined. The instruments were broken. The council was humbled, and the galaxy would never see humans the same way again. In every city, every village, every laboratory, humans continue their lives, unaware, yet unknowingly shaping the universe's perception. The galaxy had learned one undeniable truth. Humanity's true strength was not measured by tools, algorithms, or weapons. It was measured by spirit, courage, and the unpredictable would survive, create, and thrive. The legend of humans had begun, and the universe was watching.